That thing pushes down between 21 and 16. I'm probably going to take a long. All right, well, I took 20, and it's up 2 points, so I'm going to just move my stop to break even here. But somewhere between 20 and 16. 16 would have been the greedier entry, so I actually had an order at 20 and an order at 16. That would have averaged out to 18, which is fine, right in the middle of that range. If it got me into the 20, I wanted to be long. And if it got down to the 16, I'm okay with that as well. We're going to target the strong level up here at 65.41. That would be a 20 pointer, and that's a good way to start the day. All right, there's a 10 pointer. Let's see if we can get up there to the 65.40 area. And if we get up into here, I'll probably move my stop to a 10 pointer and a 20 pointer and say, all right, either which one you want to get me out at, I'm a happy boy. If price rips through this level, this could be my add-on. This could be my add-on. Now, it could come here and stop and stall, and I'll say, man, I should have took my 20 pointer. What do I know? And now the first target is here. And there's nothing wrong with taking your 20 pointer here and resetting and going, okay, I'm going to wait for my next entry. Because one could look at this and go, okay, I'm taking 10, but if I take my 20, I captured 10 points. I now kind of have 10 free points for my next entry. My next entry could go 10 points against me, and I still netted 10 points today. Also, if you're in a trailing drawdown account, taking that profit here at the 40, like fully, helps with the trailing drawdown. So we said long here, first target here. Let's see what happens. It's almost there, almost. And you're done. You close, let's say you take your 20 pointer, friend to friend, trader to trader, close your platform, go hit some golf balls, go do something else. You did it. You made 20 points on NFP. Bull Bear scorecard. They're firmly in control. Let's go on to the north. There's your 20 pointer if you took it. Congratulations, you're done. Close down, move on. If you're not in a trade, you're watching price action for the love of price action. You're probably smarter than myself for taking that trade. The play is already long or flat. And either snagging that 20 pointer right there or keeping your stop at a 10 pointer and just go with. And the other interesting thing you could do here, you could change this stop to a trailing stop right now so that every ticket goes up new, you're capturing just a little bit more of the move. Nothing wrong with doing that either. So here it is, camping out at the 20 pointer. The other thing I can do is if we do rip this strong level and come back, I will then move my stop to capture a 20 pointer. I do expect there to be a bounce in this region. So Doesn't mean short it, my humble opinion. You know, trailing a winning trade is a blunt instrument at best. Our entries are pretty precision, but you know, following a winning trade is a little more of a blunt knife. So if it gets me out at 10 pointer, I don't care. I had my opportunity to take a 20. And as I said, if you did take the 20, you almost feel like you got a free 10 points now for your next trade. Your next entry, you feel like you would have a free 10 points. And you was able to mitigate as much trailing drawdown as possible. Hopefully it doesn't go any lower than 32-ish. 13 minutes to the opening. Certainly getting that. Like I said, we expect there to be a reaction. I wouldn't short that, just because that's where we expect price to come back in. Thank you for that, Grandpa Roger, and whoever Reggie is. Thank you, sir. I think any one of those components is worth the $5 a day, my personal opinion. But all right, so when you get the warning on the bull bear scorecard here, that's telling you, hey guys, there's a lot of strength to this move. In other words, careful counter trading. You can do whatever you want, just do it small. Don't make things worse. Know where you're wrong, but this is, hey, warning. So this is your 4-pack. All these balls are in the green area. That tells you everybody is above previous day high. If the essentials indicator can reload, you're going to get a big yellow box here that says all above. So it's another warning. It's having trouble loading. There it goes, all above. So I like to have that on until it comes on, and then I turn it off. We expected there to be a reaction in this area, as we said, and hopefully it doesn't come to the strong level, which is the most highest probability place it's going to come to and bounce. It is NFP, level schmevels, so know where you're wrong, get out, never make things worse. One loss and done type of day. I have my system set up to where it launches my Zoom at 13 after automatically for me. Great. 8-point candle down into my face. I'm going to add right there. If it gets me out of both contracts, I don't care. I'm going to add right there. Very nice. Now I'm going to move both of my stops to capture my original 20 points, which is $100. And that's where my stop's going to be here. So now I've theoretically locked my 20 pointer and I have double the leverage and a risk-free add-on. You know, and the other way to do this, I could put a stop here and that's capturing 5 points on my add-on and keeping the original back at 10. Couple ways to play that. Let's go take a peek at everybody else. All right, let's go, boys. Get up there. Get up there. Well, we were definitely right about this area. If he gets me, well, I'll close my DOM. And there we go. I'm out. I want to see what I was thinking last night. And that's one of the things I like about the battle plan too. You know, last night at the end of the day, what was I thinking? And, cause sometimes you get in the heat of the trading, you know, and it's looking at the battle plan as a way for me to step back and go, okay, where was I interested in engaging in price yesterday? Well, we certainly called it here that this is probably where price is going to be able to have a move back in. But you know what? You know, we opened up there, gave it every chance I could. And now let's see what happens. So I have the bottom of this here, about 87 is where this is. And of course, this is like 92. Certainly a knife catch type of territory here. You know, at this point, I'm very thankful for my trade up there. All right, so like I said, this was down here about 87. I didn't say take a knife catch trade. You are in knife catch territory now. If you take a trade here, it's knife catching, unless you wait for laddering. So, you know, the battle plan trade has this type of action here. It also has this, depends on how aggressive you want to play. You could also take 87 if you wanted to do a knife catch trade. Points. You're stopped just underneath it. Or you wait for laddering. Interest. But remember, we already took the all-time high. We took the biggest magnet above us. This is why I really don't like trading at all-time highs, especially after it takes it. It's just real difficult. I mean, luckily, this was my move. Coming into 92, but I already had a really big bounce right there in front of it. Let's see what happens further down here. All right, if you took it, you're up 2 points there, so don't let it go back against you. If that's what price is going to do, what do I know? It's just an area where I'm looking to engage in price. And if it wants to keep going down, well, you know where we're probably going to target. That's where you got to be quick on those. It was up 3 points, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're going to wait for laddering. Let's see what happens. We're obviously vomiting down, and we already got the all-time high. That's just really tough. You know, one of the things we're looking for is for this to vomit for about an hour to an hour and a half. And like 60 points or more. So we're at 48 minutes. If you wanted to be aggressive short, you take that short there and you know where you're out. You do have a backside here on a 1 minute, although you don't have two white candles, but you know what I mean. That was a short with your out. To me, I'd put it above this backside, and the target is 74 or the bottom. I just wasn't really looking for a short, so still looking for evidence of laddering or coming further down. You know, and if you're a betting man, the bottom of the range. So this was the next area of interest here. See if we get laddering off of it. If you took that, don't let it go against you now. We're looking for laddering. You know, the odds are it's going further down, though. It's a see money, take money. It'd almost be one of those trades that you put it on a trailing stop, let it follow it. Like, it's obviously dangerous. We're in knife catch territory. Knife catches are never encouraged. If you do one tiny contract, once again, you know, my preferred trade down here is number 2. I'm waiting for that, or I'm waiting for laddering. But this was the next area of interest right there. But obviously we're vomiting strong. Level schmevel. Your levels mean nothing. So, but I'm going to wait to see if we can get down in here. And if it ladders up from here and gets above 92, I'll be looking to get long. Well, if you took that short at the top of the range, you are smiling. All right, so we're certainly down here near the bottom of the range. We're still laddering down. It would seem to me the prudent play would be for it to take the low, but what do I know? So I'm certainly hoping we come down into this area here. Don't have to be the first one long. And if you took that short from here and TP'd there, congratulations. We're waiting for laddering. We're still waiting. Got a 1 minute front side here and a fair value gap if you wanted. So remember, you do have a 1 minute front side here. That doesn't mean it's going to bounce. It's going to be your first possible ladder at the bottom of the range. There's a greedier 30-second level down there at 63. So if you wanted anywhere between 66 and 63, if you wanted a first ladder long, but it is at the bottom of the range. I'm going to be disciplined and waiting for my setup to occur. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I wanted to push down into here. And if it bounces on the first ladder, well, I'll try the second ladder. But I'm going to wait for battle plan 2. You do you. So I'm going to zoom back out, verify my battle plan trade. Somewhere between there and there, those two blue levels. So I'm only going to take that trade. I'm still looking for one more push down. Now, if it starts laddering from here, well, I've got to pay attention to laddering. But the bulls still have not defended anything. Okay, we get a little bounces, but we haven't broken anything to the north, and we haven't bounced off. We have not had a first bounce yet. So careful. We are at the bottom of the range. It matched the low. I wish it had went just a little bit more. But the bulls haven't proven to do anything yet. So be careful. 8-point candle back in your face. Waiting for second ladders is account saving. Nobody wants to hear that though. But I don't care. I'm going to tell you every time. So no FOMO. You haven't missed anything. My humble opinion. I'd really like to see us push between these two blue lines. That was my number 3 green trade from last night's battle plan. Battle plan trade area here where we're expecting a bounce. I told you I was going to be more aggressive down here. I'm already long. I had my order setting there at 54 and I said, you know, I'm going to wait for till the first ladder. I considered this on this 30-second, like this looked like the first ladder to me because we'd made it down to the battle plan trade location. And there we go. I just waited for my battle plan trade and that's what I did. Be on the lookout for the next set of entries that will be published tonight at microstrader.com under Battle Plan.